Relax, trust in the Most High, He got your back. Praying fast when you under attack.
All right, shalom, shalom. Welcome to the Shot of Our Perspective. And today we're going to be talking about Matthew 5 and 43. Did Yahshua contradict the word? Is he making stuff up? Or is there something we're missing? We're going to find out here today. So we're going to look at Matthew 5 and 43. And it says, Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. Right? And so we're going to stop there because it says, You have heard it been said that thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. Well, we know that the Torah doesn't say anything about hating your enemy. There is no command that says to hate your enemy. Now, if you found something, please let me know in the chat. But in my studies, I have not seen where it says or there or any commandment that tells us to hate our enemy. All right. So we're going to look at where that came from, right? And we're going to get right into the point. So that's why it's good to kind of gain context of the scriptures. That way we have the full understanding of what's being said. Because when we isolate scriptures and we try to nitpick and try to find flaws, right? A lot of times we'll end up being wrong, right? When we're trying to nitpick and find flaws. But when you really analyze and evaluate what we're reading, then you can come to a conclusion if something is faulty or if something is right? And so I think a lot of times what we need to do is when we're reading the scriptures, when we're reading the Bible, instead of, just immediately coming to conclusions on things, whenever we see something that's funny, whenever we see something that looks like it might be wrong or might make you raise your eyebrow, it's good to do deeper investigation before you come to a conclusion, right? So today let's do a little bit deeper investigation on Matthew 5 and 43. So one thing that I found out was that during the time of Yahshua, during the time of Christ, there was a group of Jews who went by the community rule or went by the manual of disciples. These sect of Jews believed that they should only love their own people, where just Israelites only, just Jews only, and that outsiders were to be hated. And so when the Dead Sea Scrolls were found, the Qumran text, the community rule, they had their commentary within these Dead Sea Scrolls. So this Qumran group of people, Qumran sect of Jews, the community rule, they had a set of commentary in the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? So we're going to look at the commentary to see where did this hate your enemy thing come from, right? Because Yeshua said, you heard it being said, right, to love your neighbor as yourself and then hate your enemy. So we're going to see where that came from. Is he just lying? He's just making stuff up, or did this actually come from somewhere? This is why history is very important. So we're going to look at that real quick. So let's look at what the community rule people have to say about loving your neighbor and hating your enemy. So let's look at that real quick. So right here, it says Dead Sea Scrolls community rule. And this is one of the rules of this community. All right. So pay very close attention. This scroll dates around 100 BC. So this is getting closer to the time of Yahshua. This group originated around 100 BC. And this is their rules and their commentary and the things that they believe, right? This is some of their belief system. And it says, the master shall teach the saints to live according to the book of the community rule, that they may seek God with a whole heart and soul, and do what is good and right before him, as he commanded by the hand of Moses and all his servants the prophets, that they may love all that he has chosen and hate all that he has rejected, that they may abstain from all evil and hold fast to all good, that they may practice truth, righteousness, and justice upon earth, and no longer stubbornly follow a sinful heart and lustful eyes, committing all manner of evil. And it says, he shall admit into the covenant of grace all those who have freely devoted themselves to the observance of God's precepts, that they may be joined to the counsel of God and may live perfectly before him in accordance with all that has been revealed concerning their appointed times, and that they may love all the sons of light, each according to his lot in the God's design. and hate all the sons of darkness, each according to his guilt in God's vengeance. Right. So now it puts more context on what Yahshua said, where it says, "You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you." So you had a sect of Jews who were teaching to hate the enemy, right? To hate the sons of darkness. And this was something that was taught. Obviously, it wasn't just taught by this community, because you had communities previous to this community who taught that. So we know that this was a teaching that was passed down to literally hate people that were dark, to hate those who reject the truth, right? And this what was being taught during the time of Yeshua, to hate your enemy. So when Yeshua says that in Matthew 5:43, he's trying to debunk a doctrine that has been prevalent during this time, right? Which was to hate your enemy. And so he's pretty much, all he's doing is he's speaking to a group of people who has this kind of sentiment, this kind of way of thinking, and he's trying to bring them back to what the Torah says, which is to love your neighbor, and also um, where it talks about how to love your stranger, love the stranger, right? Love the sojourner, as it says in the Torah as well, right? So he's bringing them back to the essence of Torah and is getting away from man-made doctrine. So hating your enemy is not in the Torah; it's a man-made doctrinal rule that was created by this Qumran group that goes by the Manual of Disciples, or the Community Rule. Okay, so I hope this was very informative. I hope you get it. This, you know, this puts a perspective on Matthew 5:43 now. Now we can kind of see, okay, where he got that from. What made this is what made him say that, right? Because we know that Yeshua, in his old journey, in his whole ministry, all he's doing is he's breaking down man-made traditions, and he's bringing back the true essence of Torah, right? And so in this essence, or in this situation, this is all he's doing. He's breaking down, a doctrine that has been made up by a group of or sect of Jews, and he's debunking it and bringing them right back to the essence of what the Torah is, and that's love, right? And that's loving not only your fellow Israelites and your Jews, but also loving those on the outside as well, right? And I hope this has been informative. This has been a shot of our perspective. Peace, shalom. Like, share, and subscribe to get more news, to get more info, to get more biblical insight. All right, so I'll holla.